What's up, let's slate this. I'm like, bro, it's all you.
No, that's you, Wong. That's you.
It's all you.
All right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Green Room, episode 2, the Davis Rabka podcast, where we talk about music, live events, leadership, and anything related to event production. Joining us today, Gael, also known as Sookie. Happy to have you.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, let's get started. Obviously, you're into music. How long have you been making your own music? Yeah.
Since 19. What's that?
Okay. So 4 years.
Yeah. 4 years, bro. Since 19.
Okay. And what prompted you? Had you been into music your whole life?
Yeah, I think my dad, bro. I know it sounds kind of corny, but like when I was a kid. Also, am I looking at the camera? I'm looking at you, bro. Correct?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, my dad just used to play a bunch of like rap all the time. Mm-hmm. And I think, not even unfortunately, dude, but I think part of me rapping is part of it's like trying to like just impress. You know what I mean?
Sure.
If anything, in essence, like my father. And that's how I think it started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I remember writing raps with him when I was a kid, and then I just like. You know, at the lunch tables, you like freestyle and like do shit, and I always just thought it was hella fun,
you were that
bro.
kid that was.
Yeah, and then my girlfriend, when I was 19 at the time, I wanted to start rapping, just making it, and I'm like, I feel like I'd look dumb, and she's like, shut up, I can't, you know what I mean? And she bought me a mic, and that's how I started, bro. And I just would do that every single day,
and
all the time.
So you've been doing this for, I guess, officially making it for like 4 years now.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 4 years? Or 2 years?
Well, we're moving to LA.
Oh, well, they don't know that.
They don't. You know that now. Going to LA in April. And I plan to in essence, be doing the same thing, which is making music. But obviously, what's next for me is the branding and the marketing and the kind of positioning myself to be seen, by more and more people, because the product's good. So it's just about
getting it out there,
putting it out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of different aspects to making it big as an artist. Can you tell me a little bit about what inspires what you rap about, and talk to me about your creative process when you go about writing your lyrics?
Yeah, so I was talking about this. Wong, the dude behind the camera, was over yesterday with Ant, and we were talking. Because Ant was like, oh, man, like I have a hard time writing lyrics. And I told him what I had to learn. When I first started rapping, I was rapping a lot about guns and drugs and like shooting texts, which I don't do. But that's just what I heard. It's easy to rap about that stuff because it's there. And I think I had to learn to not think, if that makes sense. So I feel like when you go into the booth and you start singing or rapping or doing whatever, even like producing or DJing, I think you reach a certain state, which is the optimal state, where you're like, this sounds corny, but you're like a satellite. And it's like coming to you. You're not thinking about what you're doing. You open your mouth or you get to the keyboard to edit a video, or you do whatever, and it just happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you kind of just let it flow through you. You're a vessel, bro. And so that's why a lot of my raps now I end up talking about things that I didn't maybe even know I was going through. It's like subconscious, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So then how would you say you're able to be... So I guess what it boils down to is if you're trying to produce music, produce art, how do you then yourself become the most efficient vessel? Is there things you need to learn, you need to try, you need to put yourself under so that you can be that satellite for your subconscious to come out and your lyrics can be very authentic?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think we've talked about this before, about creating and analyzing.
Yeah.
Being two different processes.
Separate, yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like if I start making a song and then I stop and I listen to it and I start to listen to things I don't like, when I continue back on the song, then I'm thinking, which is the opposite of what you want. You don't want to be thinking.
Right.
You know?
So then when you're making a song, do you ever go back like halfway through and kind of try to pick up
Sometimes
where you left off?
Can't help it. Or you get stuck listening to one part you really like,
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes go by, you try to hop on, and sometimes it's like fuck, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
yeah. But I don't know. There's certain mind states that you're in. That's why it's hard for me to start a song and like a week ago and then continue the song a week later. Maybe when I made that song, I was feeling sad or something.
It was like a representation of what you were
Yeah.
at that moment when you made that song.
Yeah. But the biggest motivator is for me is like trying to, like if someone's like you can't. To me, that's the biggest motivator. You know what I mean? Like trying to prove something wrong.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of it stems from trying to prove other people wrong or gain approval.
Which
right?
might be kind of like, I hope to move past that at some point,
What is past that?
I think making music to inspire. When I dropped the EP, there were some people that were like, yo, like, you inspired me. I feel like that's high, Like, with Davis Raveco, like, you inspire, There's certain things, I feel like that's the highest act, bro, is to inspire someone. It's like, and you don't even have to, like, it doesn't take much. You're just doing what you do. As a byproduct of you doing what you do, you're inspiring someone.
Yeah. So then, what does that look like for an artist?
I think if I want to continue making the music I make that's relatable, obviously the situations I'm in might become more or less relatable as time goes on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you listen to Drake, you're like, yo, like shut up, bro. He's good. Don't get it twisted. But like, he's not.
That's an official diss to Drake.
But like, I think like if someone can listen to something you made, and it can have them think, or it can better their 2 minutes as a result, or if anything you do can better someone's life, even if for a moment or a day. Like sometimes I'm in a bad spot, I listen to music to put me out of that spot. That's super powerful, and I feel like that's a high act.
Is there anything else that does that for you? Is it just music? I'm sure that it's different for a lot of people.
Yeah.
For music, I feel like that's very applicable to a lot of people. But for you specifically, is there anything else that can get you out of like a slump, or I don't know, make you kind of prompt a different feeling?
Yeah. Probably spending time with good people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you guys, or my homies when I'm feeling down.
Yeah.
You know.
That can definitely do a lot. How do you go about, I guess, picking the people you surround yourself by?
This might sound whack, but I don't think I pick per se. I think that people who are meant to meet will meet.
Okay.
And I think and I just feel like you attract, for the most part, people who are similar to you.
Yeah.
You
attract the type of people that you embody.
Yeah, you attract it just naturally without even being like, oh, I want that guy to be my friend. I want to spend more time with that guy. Like, it'll just kind of happen, Yeah. Because you guys, if you meet someone who thinks alike, it's kind of bound,
Yeah. So then it comes down to being the truest form of yourself all the time, right?
I think so too, and that's something my dad drilled into me when he first heard and I would always send my dad songs, be like, "You like," and he'd never respond. He'd be like, "Why are you rapping about like selling drugs? You don't sell drugs. Like that's lame." And come back to branding, dude. Like, and you know more about this than I do, but in my eyes, like being yourself truly is the best brand, because there's nothing like that. It's like a product no one else has. There's zero of them except you.
Yeah.
So why try to be the next trapper, drug lord? There's 1,000 of those guys.
Yeah.
Just be the next Gael or the next Caden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Have you ever gotten caught up? I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, but like caught up in trying to be somebody you're not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a distinction sometimes when I was performing at the co-ops or whatever.
Yeah.
When I didn't know whether I should introduce myself to people after the show as Sookie or Gael.
Okay.
Because there was is Sookie someone that's not Gael? It's a weird thought. It's kind of like a corny thought, but like, you know what I mean? It's like,
it's not something that a lot of non-rappers or non-artists or performing artists will think of.
Yeah, and it's not even like, I'm not even a big shot, bro. Like, it's not like, it's at the lowest level right now, where like I'm kind of known, but like Aaron, for example, when I first met him, he was like, "What's up, Sookie?" And I remember telling him after we went to Point Reyes, I'm like, "Yo, like, I think maybe I'd like to be called Gael. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just weird. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like hard to.
So now you're getting to the point where you're entering this kind of chapter where people know you as Sookie.
Yeah.
A lot of people now will meet you and come to know you and associate who you are with the Sookie name.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
I think it's starting to feel better. I'm more comfortable with it.
Okay.
You know,
And by better, how would you describe that feeling?
I think I was kind of in the past, and I've talked to you about this before, but like not embarrassed, but almost like sometimes I don't feel deserving. You know what I mean? Of like for example, a lot of my belief comes from people like Wong or people like you. You know what I mean? Or my homies telling me, "Yo, this is good." Not necessarily me thinking it was good in the past.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, I still want to be. I don't have to be. I think most artists, you see that people idolize them because they see them as like a good caricature of themselves. If they knew the artist personally, they probably wouldn't see them the same way. And so I feel like most artists that you see, you don't know them, and that's good. You shouldn't know them.
Yeah.
You know them for their music, and that's it. So with people that are maybe fans of the music in future and later on, I don't know if I want them to know Gael. Should everyone know Gael, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like with Caden or DJ Melax, bro. You know, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
like your homies. You obviously you want them to treat you as Caden. You
Yeah.
know? You don't want them to like, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting like concept, I guess, having this kind of duality between how people perceive you. There's this idea, I don't know, I heard about it a while ago. It's just like it's like a realization. Everybody you know knows a different, I guess for me it would be Caden. You know, only you know Caden, who Caden is.
Yeah.
Or who yourself is. And everyone you know has a different perception of that.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know, for me sometimes I think about that because it's not just like Caden or DJ Melax. It's like people on like the lacrosse team. Some people just know me as a lacrosse player, especially the new guys that like just joined the team. They just know me as someone who plays lacrosse. And so compare that to like, I don't know, a distant family member or a distant relative knows me as their relative's son or like an aunt or whatever. Like it's like so that kind of relationship is like, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's different.
Because everyone knows you as a different version of you.
And then it comes down like, what do you know yourself as?
Yeah.
You know? Like, do you see yourself more as a lacrosse player? I don't know if that's a big part of your identity. As much as someone who is in lacrosse team would assume that it's a big part of your identity. You know what I mean? But maybe you're like, I don't really.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, it's just a weird kind of realization that even two people, like let's say you guys, you two both know me differently.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just that was
No,
a little
it makes
tangent,
perfect
but like
sense. It makes perfect sense.
that kind of perception of how people know you and come to understand who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing, whether you're, branding DJ Melax or you're branding, I don't know if you want your name said. Or Wong's branding Wong, because your name's in your fucking thing, dude. Or I'm branding Sookie is like, what do you want people to see you as? And it becomes different because as you get bigger and bigger and bigger, things stick, dude. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's a line you got to tread really slowly and carefully because you'll see artists break and they'll say something, do something, sing anything, and it just becomes how they're part of their perceived identity, not the real identity.
Yeah.
At all. Because everyone's different behind the scenes. Frank Ocean isn't like how he is in real. Playboy Cardi's not this weird ass dude. He's like probably hella nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like, to me, that's the hard part. The music's cheese.
Yeah.
Know? Yeah.
How would you then? How would you define who Sookie is?
That's what I was thinking about when I was introducing myself. Like, hey, my real name's Gael. Told these people after the show. I'm like, would it be so bad if Sookie was just exactly like Gael, but he just raps?
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone else told me, I forget, he DM'd me, some random dude. He's like, you should have Sookie be an alter ego so that when you get hatred, it doesn't hurt Gael. But that seemed hella schizo, bro.
That might be something that, like,
yeah,
we're thinking about, but it's like, comes down to, if people are like disliking Sookie's music. It's not disliking Gael. It's just.
But it seems it's to me there almost seems like there's an issue with that. You know, like having to have Sookie be almost a facade or Gael be almost
just
like
to deflect.
Like I don't know if I want that, bro. I don't know if I want that. I'm still thinking about it. You know?
Yeah. So what's the goal for this move to LA?
I think we're all still yet to kind of fully wrap our heads around it completely. You know, like solidify it completely.
Yeah, but it's still like this idea.
Yeah, the gist that I get and that I would want is like we're all three of us, and hopefully all three of us end up going. I think we will. Yeah. Are pretty dead set on paving our own path. Yeah. You know, as whack or whatever as that may sound, it's like I think we're all willing to sacrifice being comfortable. Yeah. Or to an extent money to kind of like chase our dreams. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think moving into a place surrounded by like, you know, people who think the same like that. Yeah. My goal is to go to LA and grind at this job that I'm having now by myself 6-7 months of time where I don't have to work and just complete tunnel vision. Yeah. Going to meet people. Cause I feel like if I meet someone and I'm like, yo, like, let me, let's make a song, and they hear me rap, I feel like they'll start to see me as someone that they should link on to help them at some point, or someone that is like, yo, this guy's got something going for him. Let me like continue to work with him. Yeah. And I know that's good. That's like, you know, you got people that will hit you up or swipe up on your stories because they know that you're a person that has some prospect. Yeah. And that, you know, that's a good feeling, you know? And I feel like I want to do that in LA, network, meet people, you know? And I feel like I've met some people here in Davis and it's cool, but the ceilings here in LA, it seems like the ceilings are way, way higher.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's a big career move. And yeah, it's just all set on us wanting to like be our own bosses.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. I hate being told what to do, bro. I hate that shit, bro. I know. I hate that shit.
So, talk a little bit about what I'm telling you what to do right now. Talk about what you're doing right now to prepare for this, because you're working a full-time job, you're saving. Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was weird. I was telling Wong and Ant yesterday, dude. I started this job. For context, I don't know if I should speak to the camera. Fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I started a job. Like, I'm a college graduate, which is like whatever. I never gave a hell. Like, I never cared about college. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I was just here to do it for my parents. But I found myself, I started this job doing kind of labor work, dude. I'm installing tile and stuff. Yeah. With a lot of people who are great people and work hard, but they're a lot older than me, and none of them went to school. And they're doing this kind of because they have to. And I don't look down upon it, but I found myself, like, I was working at this older white lady's house, right? Mm-hmm. And I could tell that she looked at me like labor, in a sense. And I don't think she thought I spoke English, because my coworker didn't. Yeah. And I found myself chatting her up, and I found myself feeling the need to mention to her that I was a UC Davis graduate. Something that I don't pride myself on, because I didn't like being seen like that.
That's interesting.
And so I went home, and that whole week I had a hard time making music, because every time I would hop on the mic, I'd be like, this is childish. Like, I'm not a rapper. I'm a worker, bro. In essence, it really fucked with my head, dude. You know, because I'm like, I don't know. But anyways, bro, back to your question, dude. I'm trying to grind right now and save as much money up as I can. To go to LA and buy myself time. But it is sometimes disheartening, you know, thinking like, damn, I'm spending so much time doing work. Yeah. But you told me, you're like, imagine doing this for the rest of your life. And like, it's also motivation to be like, I don't want to do this. I will not do this. You know, like there's another route, dude.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of options. Yeah. And you kind of go about selecting your route and choosing to suffer from the struggle of like working full time right now and saving up money, or on the other hand, the suffer of regret. Yeah. You know, and what if? Yeah. You know, you kind of get to choose between two.
And I think I don't know if that's a big motive for you. For me, that's probably the biggest motivator, is the feeling like, what if I'm 40 and I show my kid my music and he's like, damn, like,
you could have.
like, why didn't you?
Right.
And the only answer I would have to give him is like, I don't know, because I quit.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude. That's
Yeah.
not even a reality that will
Yeah.
exist. You know, I hate that thought.
Yeah. So do you want to have kids? Is that
Yeah.
is that an idea?
I would like.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get
Should
into
we
like
get into all that
yeah,
lovey shit right
yeah,
now?
because it's a conversation that like
Damn. Nah, it's good.
it's very complex, but I think there's people out there that would like relate to it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, where should we start, dude?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bit. I don't know where how has love influenced your ability to create?
I think in terms of topic matter, it's something that I end up rapping about a lot because it's on my mind a lot. And it's a good problem to have. Like, some people are rapping about like having to sell drugs to survive, and I'm rapping about like thinking about love. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the worst. But like, I think definitely I've spent the last 2 years running away. Not running away. Yeah, I guess, dude. Turning down any type of situation where love could be created. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've found myself, I don't know, dude. Like I told you when I started, I've been in college for 2 years here in Davis, and I would skip class all the time.
Yeah.
And I'd spend all that time making music, all that time. And I'm God blessed. That's a great opportunity. That's why I've been able to practice so much. 10,000 hour rule. I'm not there yet, but like, you know, you need that practice.
That's in your sights, yeah.
And I feel like I just think in my head that if I got a girlfriend, if I had a relationship, I'd have to choose between music and a girl. And my biggest fear, and I've told you this before, is that it does work out. Mm-hmm. You know, and that you do end up falling deep. And I know how strong love is. I almost didn't go to UC Davis, and I almost stayed in San Diego.
Yeah.
Just to stay with my girlfriend at the time. And so I know, dude, you meet the girl of your dreams tomorrow. Yeah. And she's like, you said this, come stay at a cabin with me in the woods. Like, I love you.
Move to Montana.
You might do it, bro.
Like,
that's how it says. Love is super
dogs.
Strong. And you probably, if it ended up working out, the crazy thing is, in 10 years, when you're talking to your kid about it, you probably would say like, yeah, I gave up on this, but I don't regret it. I love your mom. She's, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think neither of those routes are bad, dude. It just seems like right now, I want this more. You know, I want this more. And
yeah.
It's tough, bro. It's tough, dude. I met this Uber driver once. Yeah, I'm yapping. I mean, go ahead. Like,
no.
I met this Uber
away.
driver once. You ever meet someone you just feel kind of comfortable with? You don't even know the dude.
Sure. And
he was telling me he sells cars to like super rich people. Mm-hmm. And I asked him the same question, like, what would you choose? And he said that he never met a successful person who said that they would go back in time and do it the same all over again. He said every single person who he met who was successful said that they would go back in time and spend less time on themselves and more time with their family, more time building relationships and shit. And I heard that shit and I'm like, nah, you're dead wrong.
Yeah.
You know? So I just feel like you don't know till you...
It might be one of those things that you just can't accept, or you don't have that realization until you have the realization.
Until you have it. And that's what scares me too, is I'm on my deathbed. Let's say I got hella accolades or whatever the hell, and I'm like, damn, like I never... Like, back to Drake, bro. Like, bro has no wife. I know bro is sad, bro. You know what I mean? Like he's a playboy, super amazing, like, goated rapper, but
well-respected rap.
But like, he's 40 years old throwing money at the club. Like, come on, dog. I know that, you know what I mean? Like, like the heart yearns, bro. You know? Yeah.
So then, how do you think you're gonna be like at what point then does the success be like, okay, now I can focus on something else, on love?
I don't know what that point will be, but I feel like there probably will be a point where I'll feel validated, back to validation, dude. But like, almost validated. Like, now I can make a song and I don't need someone to tell me it's good. I know it's good, you know. But like, there's other. I think the whole artist thing, bro, now that I think about it, is pretty much, it's all about validation, bro. You know, any artist. What
do you mean by that?
I think any artist, their part of their goal is for, you know, a group of people to be like,
accepted.
We also like your stuff, dude. Good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which boils down to maybe some bullshit, you know, but like, That's just the way it is.
Well, that drive has created so much.
Yeah.
In the world of art.
Yeah.
That innate raw desire to just be accepted and validated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know where the point, like, where would your point be where you're like, like, I've had success, like, I'm ready to, like, and then that's the thing. Once you get to a certain point, dude, the potential romantic partners you're around, do they even like you for you anymore, or do they like you?
That is another thought.
And then you're kind of then you're fucked, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, because then the people that are around you, like you mentioned, are around you because you're moving and they want to move with you.
Yeah.
So I would assume that it would be a lot harder. Yeah.
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 And you'll meet, like, I can't think of a rapper who has, or any artist, maybe there's some artist who has, like, a wife that they didn't divorce or cheat on, or, like, that worked
I'm
out.
sure, but it's definitely a common
rare.
theme. But but at some point, like, everything that's fantasized about being a celebrity, about being a professional rapper, is like, it's probably cool for like an hour.
And you hear that too. You hear everyone talk about that. Like, this shit isn't that dope, bro. Like, but, like,
and I don't know. I've had that feeling on a small scale before.
Yeah.
Like, I'll go out and I'll perform some show, and I'll DJ, and I'm so excited to do it. It's like I prepare, I work hard to get myself to that position. I do it, and then, like, the night'll end, and that's kind of it.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, well, that happened, cool.
Yeah.
But, like, now what?
Yeah. You get that, like, super high, like, drug rush, and then the night's over and it's kind of like,
yeah, and then you're just laying in bed alone and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Like, what more is there to life?
Yeah. And then there's a lot more to life, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I end up thinking about, is, like, you probably get more. I told you about this dude. I'm gonna name drop him, bro. Ill Poetic. Tim Niemer. I think I said his name right. But he was talking to me. I think he went on tour with, like, Talib Kweli. I don't know if you know that guy.
No.
Nah, fair enough, bro. But, like, I was asking him, I was picking his mind, the same thing. And he's like, I had a kid, and, this kid gave me more purpose than my music ever did. It's kind of like I was talking to my uncle who lives in Mexico, maybe doesn't make that much bank, but the bank he does make, he spends it on his kids. I'm like, bro, like, you never want to spend it on yourself? He's like, spending it on my kids feels to me like spending it on myself. Even better than. Yeah. It's like an extension. It's like a gift. It's love. Yeah. And still when they were talking, I'm like, nah, y'all are bugging. For real, y'all are bugging, But I just don't understand that yet.
Yeah.
I'm not mature in that sense,
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's just one of those things you realize when you realize, and there's not really much you can do then,
But you think there's a balance? Would you think there's a balance?
Well, ideally, you can live with both.
It would suck if it was this or that, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, like, we're both just kind of naive to that right now where we are.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get Drake on the podcast.
Drake on the podcast. And I think...
Yeah. What's the question?
At the end of the day, does it feel like...
Yeah!
Get in here, bro. Get in here. At the end of the day, you could feel really good about, being a creator and, like, putting on a good show. But, at the end of the day, it's like, do you still feel like... Do you feel like it's, like, more of a lifestyle, or do you feel like, okay, like, this is a job,
Yeah.
Because, like, like, for me, like, after I go shoot something, I'm like super stoked. But then, like, I'm like, at the end of the night, I'm like, fuck, dude, like, at the end of the day, it's just a job, Like, is it really different than going and working in an office, like, every other thing?
What do you think?
But I feel like there's a lot more. I feel like I care a lot more about it because it's my work. Mm-hmm. But man.
Well, I feel like when you do something in the creative space, you have, like, more. Come sit down. You have more. You have more autonomy over the end product. When you create music, that's you making the song. Yeah. It's not you in an office where you have to work for somebody and make music. It's like, or under their guidelines. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is, like, you have autonomy over, like, if someone pays you to film a documentary, it's like that's your art, you make a lot of decisions with that. It's not like a job where, I don't know, you have strict guidelines to work under and you don't have flexibility.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I get a lot more emotionally invested
Yeah.
in like my work versus like any other kind of job.
And I feel like the
100%.
only resemblance of what you're doing and a regular job is money. You're doing it at least in part for money. So if money doesn't exist and you remove money from the fact, like from the whole thing, then yeah, what you're doing is it's you. It's what you're doing. You know, like I don't think anything beats it, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's hella dope that you're the only person I think I know right now that is making doing what they like, what they want. You know what I mean? Which is really fully 100%, which I think is dope as hell, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that's rare, like good shit, dude. I'm serious, bro. Like that's dope.
yeah. To be able to live off of doing something that you enjoy doing, is definitely a really big accomplishment. Yeah. And not a lot of people get to say that. I mean, it's kind of what we're aspiring to do right now with this thing with LA, and like being able to survive by doing what you love to do and not have to do things that you don't want to do. But I guess that's what a job is, bro. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
And that's fine, dude. I was talking to my dad. I felt real bad. I still sometimes feel bad about working this job, dude. You know, it hurts my pride. But he's like, I'm like, damn, there's nothing honorable in it. But I don't know. I think like, yeah, it's just a reminder, bro. You know, and like you're working at the Mondavi Center, like vacuuming stuff, dude. You know what I mean? Like, but it's a reminder of like, there's this other route where like, look, if I wanted security and to be comfortable, I would choose, and this is no diss to anyone who chooses that, because it's not bad, man. I would choose like to be like a data analyst for the U.S. Census and use my sociology degree, probably make more money than I would initially making music, and I'd have security. Yeah. And I think a lot of people choose security over, you know, that's kind of what this move to LA represents to me, dude, is like, I feel like, at least for me, I'm hella stubborn. It's really easy for me to fall into being comfortable and kind of get a little complacent. I always make music, dude. You know what I mean? But and I feel like when you put yourself in a situation where you either do or fucking die, not literally, but like, you know, like
where there is no plan B.
Yeah, and there can't be a plan B, dude. Yeah, that's why like working this job now, I'm gonna like there can't be. You hear people like Travis Scott, he raps about in that song. He's like spending. He didn't even have a house, bro, or money. He just spent nights in couches, sleep on the floor, bro. Yeah. There's no plan B. It's either this or nothing, and that's what makes it happen. You can't have like a, you know, like I'm sure like for you it's like it's this or not. Like you have to just.
Dude, like if I don't make this work, dude, like
it's nothing.
This is all I got, bro.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like all my skills, all my fucking
exactly. And Lil Wayne, like they were asking him, so they're like, "Why'd you tattoo your hands in your face?" He's like, "So I could not get a job, so I had to do this." Yeah. And I feel like you got to put yourself in those situations, you know. At least some people don't, and that's a blessing. I feel like I do, bro. Yeah. Otherwise, I won't, you know.
Yeah. You have a tattoo that says Sookie.
Yeah, dude.
Tell me about that.
Yo, so first off, my parents thought this shit was dumb as hell, bro. But it's just this dude. Not my fault. And it says Sookie here. It's a little fucking blown out. But I got this because
here, we'll add a little picture to the. There we go.
I got this because to me it represents like kind of like I was telling you, I'm not going to be 40 and my kid's going to be like, what the hell? Yeah. Like this solidifies it. This is like, it's kind of like people get their partner's name tatted on them in hopes that it's going to last forever. Yeah. You know? This isn't in hopes. It will. But like this is like, it's tatted on me. It's in essence a part of me now, at least like.
Yeah, it just symbolizes. It symbolizes that's what like, you're going to do, and there is no other.
And every time I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, bro. Like this is what I'm doing, dude.
You forget your name or so.
Yeah, you know, look at it, but like, you know, I'm not gonna be like, you know, way old in 20 years and look at it and be like, damn, bro, like that was a crazy part of my life. Nah, I'm gonna look at it and be like, damn, bro, I did that, and I'm here. I'm doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. 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 On Bloods.
Yeah, man. I think there's so much that comes with being an artist at the preliminary stages of their career, and it's worth telling the story of.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're doing here with this episode with you.
Yeah.
In hopes that we look back on it.
That's cool shit to me too. Looking
Right?
back on like the vlog we're gonna make in LA and stuff, and just being like, and that's the thing too. I feel like the journey. Everyone says this, but the journey to whatever you're going to do is like super, super, super the best part.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. There's songs that are like, I think Mac Miller has a song about like the good old days, or like rapping back when he was a struggling artist, back when he was growing and he was on the come up.
Yeah.
You know? And then you get to a point where you're there, you've made it, like.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, wow, I wish I was like sleeping on a couch trying to find my next gig, somewhere to perform at, you know?
Yeah. Do you ever look back on times where maybe things were harder with like a fondness, or no?
Yeah, of course. I don't think that I've had a moment where I've been, consider it like a big struggle in my life to get to some, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm putting myself in that situation.
Yeah.
But it's also how you view a situation.
Like, your perspective can.
You can either change your situation or change the way that you perceive it, and those are really your two options.
And by changing the way you perceive it, you kind of change the situation as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, completely. Yeah. So, yeah, what would you say to Sookie 2 years from now?
2 years from now?
Yeah, like we're watching this in 2 years.
Good fucking job. Because
you already know.
Yeah, I know.
Because you already know.
I know. I don't know if you want to touch on that eternalism thing, dude. And maybe it's complete utter bullshit, and that like does not exist.
What context?
Yo, so I don't know dead ass what it means. But
just gonna yap right now.
I'm about to yap. But in my eyes, time works. In my eyes, time works. It's not cyclical. It's like a plane. So this podcast with Caden and I was gonna happen 2 years ago. You know what I mean? It like everything's set. And what's the proof that it was gonna happen? I mean, bro, it's happening, bro. It's to me, it's kind of hard to dispute. You know, that's just the way I view how things go. And in my eyes, hold up. In my eyes, like I'll sometimes, I already know I made it, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? And even if that perspective, even if it's like wrong, you know what I mean? Even if that eternalism isn't real, just having that thought in your head that there's no way you won't make it is enough, dude. I was telling Ant this. It's like, imagine a basketball player, young prospect in like middle school, who's already pretty talented at basketball and spends all his time practicing. There's no way, unless something horrific happens and he tears his fucking leg apart or something, there's no way that guy is not going to see some success from his basketball. Whether it's playing at college and being like a good player there, or maybe making it to the NBA, there's no way. So someone like Caden, who's like talented at what he does and works at it and is working towards it, or someone like Wong or someone like me, there's no way, zero chance, dude, that we won't see some success, you know? And what you want to see as success is differs, you know? For me, it's maybe something else, you know? But like, that's just how I view it. It's done. It's already happened, bro.
It's kind of a comforting but daunting thing to think about, though. Do you think that, I guess the counter to that mentality would be that you tell yourself something is going to happen. I guess it's manifestation, but like you tell yourself it's going to happen. Does that then in turn get you comfortable with what you're doing and say, okay, it's going to happen, so I don't need to do, or not that I don't need to do this, but like it's going to happen anyways, so.
I think it can.
It can like mess with
your drive.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
I think it can.
It just depends on if you take, if paired with that mentality, it's like, it's going to happen because I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Versus it's gonna happen because one day
that's how
Tyler the Creator is gonna be like, whoa, what the, you know what I mean? Like,
You have to make your own luck.
Yeah,
you have to make your own luck.
Jump it. Yeah, you have to, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe this puts your eternalism little yap into like context. The way I see it is like, I don't know, like I'll look at my Instagram page and it's like the recent 9 posts that I'll see.
Yeah.
And like 2 years ago, I had no idea that was what my page is going to look like.
Yeah.
You know, what's it going to look like in like if I could just refresh it and see 2 years ahead.
Yeah.
What am I going to be like?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I understand, dude. It's crazy because manifestation is real though. Like hella real. Like and like I think like I don't even know if this I forgot the word, but I'm a little faded. What do you call something when you're giving an example of something?
Huh?
What's the word for when you're giving an example of something? Hold up.
Speak. What are you trying to say?
Look, bro. I think like on a small scale, like let's say you wake up in the morning and you say, I'm gonna be in class today in 3 hours at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You're declaring what has not happened yet. You're declaring that you'll be somewhere that doesn't exist in the future, in class, in whatever hall, in that classroom, right?
Sure.
And so what do you do when you declare that? And it seems pretty sure in your head. Like, of course I'm going to be in class at fucking 10 a.m. You take every step necessary to be in class at 10 a.m. You brush your teeth, you eat your food, you drive to class.
Everything that you do is with that end goal in mind.
And you're there in class at 10 a.m. But you already knew that you were going to be in class. And you knew that you were going to be in class and you weren't even in class yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist, that reality. So if you zoom out, I feel like you can apply that on a scale like this is where I'm going to be in 2 years. This is where I'm going to be in 10 years. And you take the steps. It seems like you do it all the time. You know?
Yeah, I think I do that with goal setting. You know, you have really lofty goals. And I think Seneca said that a measure of your success can be seen in your daily routine, or a measure of your future success, whatever. And it's true because, like, you know, you want to be somewhere in 2 years, great. You know, you can think, okay, I'm gonna be there in 2 years. This is what I have to do. But if you're not breaking that down into steps that you can take every day, like what did you do today to make where you want to be in 2 years possible?
Yeah.
And that, you know, zooming in boils down to like, I'm going to be in class at 10 a.m. So what am I going to do this hour? I got to brush my teeth, you know, get dressed.
Do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You just make it happen.
Just make it happen, dude. And I feel like when we go to LA, I'm also I think you guys are some people that will hold me and I'll hold y'all accountable, not on some fuck shit, you know, but just like, like, you know, like if Wong's out with like some chick all the time, you know, and
you're gonna pull him back to focus,
you know, and like not like, you know, I'm gonna be like, bro, you need to focus, bro. You know what I mean? Like just to a sense, you know, like I feel like you need people who are gonna be honest with you. Like that's why I really appreciate Ant. Yeah. It's because like sometimes I'll hop on something and he's like, yo, this part right here, trash. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, bro. Like no one says that to me, you know. So I like bet I'll go and try to do it again. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I feel like that's really important too.
That honesty is really it can be very valuable.
Yeah.
I think I mean we started off with talking about this, but like the people you surround yourself by make the world of a difference.
Yeah. And nothing seems like an accident, right? It doesn't seem like an accident. It actually seems like a perfect puzzle fit that all of us met.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. That like kind of confirms all my like stuff like that is like,
and all within the past year.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, the people that you surround yourself by.
Yeah.
That's it, you know? Cuz you are I strongly believe that you are the collection of your 5 closest friends or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense, dude. And I feel like you trying me open this. I'm sorry, bro. Hands are sweating, dude. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and the people that you surround yourself by should constantly be pushing you to do better.
Yeah. And that's another thing. I don't know if you want to touch on that, but like if you knew for a fact, some like weird ass genie told you, bro, that in 3 years you were gonna reach what you perceive to be your highest potential, but you were gonna lose your closest relationships, either out of jealousy or out of like not like time. Are you doing that? Because that happens too, bro, all the time, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you think fucking, like, whoever, like, you think, like, it's rare. It's hard, man. It's not impossible, but, like, you know.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is also a thing. And I'm thinking way too much in the future. But I tend to think in the future.
Yeah.
And I'll rap about that too. I'm like, I hope I never lose. You know, I hope there's not a day where my dad's like, hey, man, like, you know, like, I don't know. I would hate to lose. Because on my deathbed, dude, what's going to matter, I think, when I'm flooded with all these thoughts when I'm dying, is
the people that are surrounding that bed.
It's going to be my relationships. It's not going to be, you know, a Grammy. It's not going to be, you know, like an award. It's not going to be a charting song. It's not going to be any of that, dude. I think. I'm assuming. It's going to be, like, the people. And, like, yeah, I'm thinking towards my death, but that's just, I think about that shit a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm curious for you, you know?
I don't know. It's a tough question. I mean, I think that sometimes there comes a point where somebody that you thought was somebody that was really going to be beneficial in your life and someone that you really aligned with just at the end of the day just doesn't end up being that person to you. And it takes courage and, like, the wisdom to understand that it's probably time to drop that person, you know?
Passing. I think like that too. There's people come when they come and they leave when they leave, and it's all perfect. It's happens.
And that when you said it, and I really believe it too. Everyone comes into your life for a reason.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone leaves for a reason too. But I think it's very important to identify what that reason is. And I forget who I was talking to you about, but, like, someone will be in your life for, you know, 2 years, and you don't realize the impact that they've had on your life right after those 2 years are over. And then it slowly becomes more evident why that person was in your life as time goes on, you know, and then maybe 10, 20 years later down the line, you're like, wow, this is the reason that person was in my life. They made me into this person, or they helped me grow in this way. And I'm just forever grateful for that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And that goes back to, like, things happening for a reason. We talked about that a lot, you know? Like, whether things happen for a reason or not. And I've come to maybe think, and challenge me on this if you think it's not true, but I think that sometimes things don't happen for a reason. But you have, like, that car crash.
It's up to you to make it a reason.
Yeah. Like, the shit I was in on that day, the reason it happened is because that guy was swerving. That's the reason
the car crash.
Bro. Yeah, that's because that guy was, like, driving dope. That's the only reason. But then
that's one of the that's the reason that the act itself happened.
Yeah.
But the reason that you made a song about it was because you were in that accident.
Yeah.
You know, which
and
it's just something that
was like, make a song about it. I'm like, bet.
Yeah, and it's so then you made a reason out of it.
Exactly.
You took a situation and you made a reason out of it. You gave it value.
And I feel like with that, and I'm not trying to jinx myself and have the universe, like, put me in some horrible shit, but, like, you can make almost any situation. Most situations different by giving them a reason that they happen. You know, taking it as a reason to, like, grow or change a perspective or do this or do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Matt, how much time are we looking at?
You got 15 minutes left.
Oh damn.
That's about the same time we ended it last time.
Yeah.
With Noah.
Yeah.
What would you? And this is something I thought of. The only thing that I thought of before this podcast is what I wanted to ask you. What would you say to yourself or someone that resembled you as a, I don't know, young teenager wanting to pursue not just rapping, but anything creative, anything, their dreams, you know?
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
I would tell them to do it, man. I think, like, I know that's, like, 2 words, dude. Do it, you know? Like, it's something that I feel like if you want bad enough, you won't even, not doing it is not even going to be a possibility.
What if they don't know that they want it that bad? Like, did you know that you wanted, like, that? I think it develops over time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. When was the moment for you that you're like, this is what my life is going to be?
I was telling you about that. I just started rapping. Never really did it. Really, I was just messing around on the mic, and I dropped a song on SoundCloud that I have erased.
Yeah.
And it got like 10,000 streams in a week.
Yeah.
And I have like 0 followers on SoundCloud, and people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, this is good. This is that. This is that." And it came from validation where I saw the amount of attention it got, and I realized like, oh man, I have something.
Yeah.
What a waste! What an epic waste it would be for me to be like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I did that, and then go back to like pursuing a career in like analytics or something. Like, what a waste, dude.
Well, I'll throw this at you. The only reason that I guess you knew that you had that potential is because that song made it so big.
Yeah.
You know, what if you never discovered that you had something with music and that it was something different?
That's another thing too, bro. That's comes back to things just happening perfectly how they happen.
Yeah.
You know, because there's things I find interesting. I don't think, in my eyes, back to the eternalism thing, I think that was going to happen, and there's no way it wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But forget that theory. Like, maybe.
So then, do you believe in fate? You know?
I do, 100%. I believe everything happens due to a reason, whether it's me nudging your shirt like that. And as a result of everything happening due to a reason, everything must happen for a reason. For the next thing to happen due to a reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Am I making sense, kind of?
I feel like I get the concept.
You get the concept, right?
It's not something that you can easily articulate with words, I think.
Yeah, it's like everything to me, in my perspective, fits perfect, you know? But I would tell that kid who's like, damn, should I start? Do I look stupid? Like, just do it, man. There's been times where like I want to post a song and I'm like, man, maybe it doesn't sound that good. And then some shit happens like that car crash where I almost die. I'm like, who the fuck cares, bro? Yeah. Just do it, dude. Yeah. Like, what the hell are you like deliberating about, you know?
Just do it.
Just do it, man.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Stop playing.
All right, Gael, Sookie, thank you for hopping on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Any last words?
On Bloods. Nah, don't put that.
Yeah, when's the next EP?
EP? I was thinking of EP with Ant in the next months. We still got to figure out. I think we're going to drop 3-4 song EPs. There's an EP with albums out. This is his name, Ethan Starr, out of Texas, coming out next week. Something with Tim coming out soon. We're done with all the songs. And then I need to start dropping every week, dude, at this point. I'm just sitting on tons of files. But stay tuned for the LA vlog.
Stay tuned. Shout out M. Wong Media. Matt, thank you for producing this. Gael, thank you for being here.
Of course.
See you guys on the next one.
That was great, dude.
That was sick, man. That was sick.
How was the conversation flow compared to the last one? Just curious.
Honestly, they're both really smooth.
You're a professional yapper.
I am a professional. Yeah, I just yap, bro.